Can you sit with yourself? Can you find the time to be able to reflect on the actions that you have taken in any particular day and have the ability to really culminate your thoughts and stabilize who you are as an individual? Now, what I mean by stabilizing your emotions and your thoughts, I mean that you must have to come to terms with them. When you come to terms with your thoughts, you understand where they are rooted from. Where do they come from? Perhaps they came from past experiences, something that might have happened in the past that you are thinking and that is constantly filling your mind. There are many different ways that thoughts and emotions can abruptly enter into our mind. And they come from left, right and center, because as we go through our lives, we encounter multiple things, multiple events that may have a significant impact on us, or they might not have only a minuscule impact, that's it. But nevertheless, all of these things, everything that happens in our lives happens just because we were there to experience it and we were there to fully embrace it. Now, is it within our own will to decide whether we want to keep thinking about that thought or emotion? Yes, because you don't want to be constantly filling your mind with feelings and thoughts of sadness, because ultimately you're just going to live a depressing life. And you ultimately just can't live a life that is fully and just embodies happiness, because if you don't embody happiness, if you don't experience the opposite of happiness, which is sadness, you will never understand what true joy actually is. Because if you're happy all the time, what happens when you eventually go down to that slippery path of failure and things that bring about negative emotions within you? How are you going to surrender? How are you going to filter through these emotions properly so that you have the ability to rethink them and the ability to make a clear decision on what you are trying to do with these thoughts? So the whole premise that I wanted to get out of this video was that if you don't stop and think about your thoughts, and you don't stop and think about who you are, your emotions, then you're not going to live a very, I can say, controlled and peaceful life. Because you might be going through a lot of things, but if you are able to come to terms with these negative events in your life, then you're ultimately just going to turn out a much better person on the other side. Because as I mentioned earlier in my previous video, life is full of bumps and curves, positives and negatives, and if you don't learn to embrace both the positives and the negatives, then you're never going to achieve and you're never going to feel fulfilled and be able to live a good life. So that's what I mean when I say always remind yourself to meditate and reflect on who you are, and always have the time in your day to be able to come to terms with your thoughts, so that when it comes to facing more events and more adversity in your life, then you're able to think about the bigger picture and you're able to further determine and understand where these thoughts are originating from. Because if you don't know where your thoughts are originating from, how do you ever expect to remove them from your inner peace and your mind? That's all from me, guys. Have a good one.